All right, welcome to the panel discussion, like I said, on building a robust ecosystem for D2M broadcasting. Okay, I'd like to invite up our moderator, Shri Sunil, our panelists, Rajat Nikam, Group CTO, Network 18. Can we have you up, please? Mr. Raghu Ravindran, Group Manager, Broadcast Systems, Tejas Networks. Welcome. Mr. C.K. Jain, Vice President, Real Image Media Solutions and former DDG, Prasar Bharati. Are you here? Mr. Kingshuk Bhattacharya, Head Broadcast Operations and Network Engineering, Sony Pictures. And Mr. Manoj Padmanabhan, Head BD India and SAC, Media and Entertainment Industry, AWS. Sorry, okay, he's not here. All right, I'd like to first introduce our session chairman, Shri Sunil, President IETE and former ADG Prasar Bharati. Mr. Sunil is the President-elect of the Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, IETE, and the Vice President of Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, Malaysia. He is the immediate past President of Broadcast Engineering Society of India. Sunil has been the Additional Director General of India's public service broadcaster, Prasar Bharati. At the corporate level, he has headed the Technology Division, International Relations, Design and Planning Divisions of terrestrial transmitters, TV studios and satellite, global and domestic distribution, direct-to-home divisions, marketing and the Central Archives Division. Sunil comes with a diverse experience within the Government of India, having extensive coordination meetings of the public broadcaster with various ministries, PMO, Cabinet Secretariat, Niti Aayog, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of INB, etc. With over 3 decades of experience in the field of broadcast engineering, Mr. Sunil has essentially worked with installation of broadcasting projects in India and overseas. He has been a member of the Technical Advisory Group of ICC, that's INSAT Coordination Committee, of the Indian Space Research Organization, and is the winner of the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union Broadcast Engineering Excellence Award of 2018. That's our moderator for the session. Can we give him a big round of applause? And from here, I think he will take over.
Good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and the esteemed audience. So today we are at a discussing here a very disruptive technology, the direct-to-mobile broadcasting, and this technology, which has already entered into a advanced phase now, with the proof of concepts happening all over the country, at least in 2 cities like Delhi and Bangalore. The basic crux of the technology is that you will be able to receive the broadcast signals directly on your mobile sets without the use of a SIM card, without the use of internet, and so on. And the crux is again that during the peak times, the data from the telcos, from the unicast networks will be offloaded to the RF networks so that the congestion from the telcos is removed and you get a flawless and signals without any jam and all. With this, I would like to introduce the first speaker, Mr. C.K. Jain, and take questions from him. Mr. C.K. Jain is a very experienced and seasoned professional with over 30 years of experience in broadcast engineering and financial management. Starting his career in 1991 as IBES officer at Doordarshan, he managed key national events and led the digitalization of TV studios of DD network spread across the country. He also led first robotic setup of Indian Parliament, for which he also received the Professor Setu Raman Award for designing innovative broadcast facilities. He has contributed to almost all aspects of TV broadcasting, including content management, and is indeed a highly accomplished broadcaster. Mr. Jain has also contributed to the state broadcaster in Bhutan and Sri Lanka and presented papers at major organizations like ABU and BES. He was also instrumental in automating commercial and accounting operations of the Prasar Bharati. Currently, he serves as Vice President, Special Projects at Real Image Media Solutions. I would like Mr. Jain to speak 1 minute on the direct-to-mobile broadcasting technology, how the technology works, before I put on the questions to him. Over to you, Mr. Jain.
Okay. Hello. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving such a nice introduction of mine. So I think in the brief introduction, Sunil sir has already told what D2M is. So D2M is like, I would repeat something, what he has already said, direct to mobile broadcasting. So it is like, you see, it's like a DTS connection taking at home. Okay, so you get multiple bouquet of channels directly being received through the satellite coming to your TV set. Now take it other way around. So rather than being received from the satellite, you directly receive from the transmitter, and as many channels as you get in DTS, maybe little lesser than that, maybe hundreds of channels directly coming to your mobile. So that means with DTS connection, you can watch only when you are at home. While with D2M, you can watch TV live as well as non-live content anywhere, wherever you are, whether you are sitting in car, you are sitting in bus, or sitting in a cafe. You can watch the content of your choice, or if not of your choice, at least whatever is being given by the platform operator directly onto your mobile without being dependent on telecom signal. That's the advantage of it. Even though telecom signal can be used if there are interactive services being used, provided. Otherwise, you don't need a telecom signal. So that's the beauty of this. Today, when you try to, of course, 70% of the content on telecom network is video. And because of which, the quality of your calls, quality of your telecom signal gets impacted. So think of a platform which is providing you a content, exclusive platform for watching content. So that means if there is some part of video which can be offloaded from telecom network to this D2M network, your telecom services would also get improved. So, and not only the normal content, this also can provide you emergency alerts, your disaster messages, traffic signal, positioning signal, including it can be a substitute to GPS to an extent, or in fact not to an extent, to a larger extent, depending on the kind of development that we can take it ahead. So it has, and it can create a new ecosystem altogether, right from content creator to content consumer and all in between. So it is a very, very innovative technology which is knocking at the door of all of us, and whenever it gets launched, I am sure everybody would be very, very excited. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jain. I'll augment Mr. Jain's statement. See, on the mobile, you are receiving, it is meant for unicast traffic. the voice basically, and you are using it for 70% video data. Now this video data downloading is increasing 200% every 3 years. It means to maintain the same quality of the service, the telcos have to densify their networks, and doing that 200% times is a very difficult provision. So the best idea is that during the peak traffic hours, the video gets offloaded to the D2M network so that your network or your infrastructure of the telco is free for taking the voice calls with a very high quality of service. Thank you, Mr. Jain. Jain, what are the different revenue streams you think will emerge from the direct to mobile broadcasting?
Yeah, I continue to speak. So, okay. So, revenue streams, because it's a digital platform, can be multiple. And as the technology evolves, it's still new revenue streams will evolve. But to start with, so like I told you, it will have, you can carry live channels. So live channels mean there will be slots in it, like they are there in the cable network or any DTS network. Those slots can be, we can charge a carriage fee. Then we can also, like I told you, offloading of the content from telecom to D2M network, that could be a revenue stream. Then could be interactive services, could be educational content, which can be paid as well as free. But and other than that, there can be advertisement slots and also targeted advertising. So opportunities are multiple revenue. So any operator which is operating it, of course, will have to invest huge amount into the infrastructure, but at the same time, there are huger opportunities available for revenue as well.
Thank you. So friends, we have another legend in broadcasting, Mr. Rajat Nigam, who is the Group Chief Technology Officer with the Network 18 Media Investment Limited. He is an ex-Prasar Bharati official. He is a media, IT and technology professional with domain ranging from the news operations, international sports production, satellite communications, digital media, enveloping OTT and publishing. He leads a big media technology and operations team, managing technology verticals including enterprise IT, cyber security, digital transformation and innovations, blockchain certificate holder from the Blockchain Council. I would request Mr. Rajat to give his views on the direct to mobile broadcasting in just a few words. Yeah, Mr.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sunil, for introduction. And I'm happy that this is a new topic. Otherwise, we all have been grappling with the artificial intelligence and AI and Gen AI in all the forums today. So, seeing all of us, we are from that era where that intelligence used to be natural rather than artificial. So, we come from that era. Now, D2M, anything direct is always impactful. Like sitting here, we are getting so much of noise from the opposite booth directly coming onto us and we are getting impacted. So anything to do direct will have a huge impact. No sort of debates around that. It's a question of how long or how much the impact would be. D2M as a technology we all have been talking about. We have seen few demos. We all are aware about it at varying degrees of its the architecture, the impact, operational modalities, etc., etc. However, what it does to me, that would be my understanding. It adds to one more platform how you will consume the content. So content remains the king always in the industry. However, that has shifted to consumer being the king. And we all are consumers. So it is providing us a content, is a choice-rich environment wherein we could choose to consume content in whatever manner we have. So D2M adds to that. That would be, that is the stand that I would want to take. It has got pros and cons. Important would be to what it, D2M solves what problem of a value chain. So if we talk about a value chain of media or broadcast industry, rather media industry, wherein broadcast is one platform, digital is the other platform and all. Its consumer is one stakeholder, content creators are others, OTT platforms third, telco service provider fourth, and obviously the regulator becomes the other stakeholder. So what it is, keeping regulator aside, what D2M is going to impact or help us with? Content creators, it doesn't matter, because content creator would want their content to go to multiple platforms, multiple people, as more and more the merrier. OTT platforms, that is wherein they want the consumers to come to their platform. Their business model or their modalities is typically with respect to consumption of content or traffic into their platform. Now, third is the telecom service providers. Now, D2M, by way of their technology, they overlap with the telco service provider ecosystem. So, whether they are complementing or conflicting, that becomes the question, and that's wherein we have to solve that. What to me, it solves the last mile problem, because we all talk about digital content today, but not many of us would appreciate that the internet capacity of India is constrained. In case every one of us start consuming our prime time television on internet, the internet would die. We do not have that much of capacity. For example, we were doing IPL for last 2 years, and that was in Ultra HD as well as for varying platforms, varying bandwidth and all. When the peak reached, I'm talking about IPL 23, when CSK and Gujarat Titans finals match was there and Dhoni was playing, it reached 33 million. And that peak went to 59 million in the last World Cup match. Now, the impact is, when it reached that, we had to reduce our quality of service because the internet available in India was getting choked. So the constraint of today's ecosystem is to create a capability, create a ecosystem or infrastructure so that the internet capacity increases. And India is one of the sample, and the story is same across world. It's not only limited to India. So I would feel D2M goes on to solve that problem rather than conflicting with the telco provider or any of the ecosystem. It should be a complementary sort of contribution.
Very well explained, Rajat. I would just like to put a question to you. How critical is the deployment of 5G telecom and broadcast networks for D2M to scale effectively?
So as I said, it need to be complementing. So 5G, if we talk about 5G again, like it's a huge investment on the spectrum. It's not a simple architecture and also the use case as well. If we provide a proper architected solution with applying a good compression technology, our demands for a live content streaming gets fulfilled by 4G. But then since the environment is not conducive to provide a consistent pipe, we have to look for 5G. So 5G adds to the latency part. That is wherein the experience increases. Now, 5G in itself should be adequate, but fact of the matter, is it adequate? That's wherein the last mile challenges comes in, and D2M provides that solve for that. So I'd see that way.
Thank you. Thank you. So, friends, we have with us Mr. Raghu Ravindran just by my side. Raghu is the Group Manager of Broadcast Systems at Tejas Networks Labs after Sankhya Labs, acquisition by the Tejas. He has over 30 years of experience in electronics design and new product development, first with a TV manufacturer and then a TV semiconductor company. He moved to IoT domain for a while, set up the IoT cloud backend, mobile app and web-based service interface for a connected product. Now manages the engineering team for DTV broadcast systems, both transmitter and receiver. Raghu was responsible to build the D2M advertisement on linear channels, migration to end-to-end IP-based playout for more than 50 channels, for sports, remote protection with J2K and so on. I would like to request Mr. Raghu to give his views in a minute about the D2M.
Hi, thanks to the audience for turning up. So I've been part of the D2M proof of concept trials we are running in Delhi and Bangalore. We've been doing this for about 2 to 3 years now. And the entire ecosystem, was sort of developed in India. They were pretty proud of that. The transmitters, the receivers, all of that. In fact, it uses a Sankhya Labs chipset, a software-defined radio chip, which was developed out of India. It's an Indian product, basically. So, being on the front line of this technology is very exciting for us. And we feel this technology has a vast potential, right? For example, let's start with the broadcasters' existing infrastructure. Like Prasar Bharati right now is not transmitting terrestrially. Those towers can be reused. With very simple reconfiguration, those towers which can transmit digital TV can be reused for this. So we've also cellularized this transmission, broadcast, by using low power transmitters which are installed on existing cellular infrastructure again. And all of this is part of, all these transmitters are transmitting the same content, time synchronized at the same time without cross interference. This is called single frequency network. So this is the first deployment in a large scale worldwide. And this is part of the standard, but it wasn't deployed other than in a lab scenario kind of thing. So, reuse of existing infrastructure, it's technology which is new and exciting. And we're building, one of the big things for broadcasters is the lack of interactivity. Now, this particular standard is IP based. So you can not just transfer linear AV, you can send files, right? In fact, a US partner is rolling out digital data as a service. The idea is the new EV cars will require a lot of firmware updates on the fly. If there's a new safety feature, if there is something that the road infrastructure needs to, changes in infrastructure that need to be immediately applied to the EV cars for safety. This can be broadcast over, as firmware files over the broadcast channel can be received. And then, of course, most of the video viewing is on phones. Having something on the phone, and we are even thinking of moving to the, cost-conscious customers in feature phones. You can add that as well. Of course, there's change in the equipment, but once you have that, the broadcasters, the content providers have a new market, right? And for interactivity, even through SMS, you can send back what they were viewing. You can have targeted ads because it's an IP packet and can be reinserted. OTT players, if there's a huge movie releasing tomorrow and it's going to go viral, you can pre-position that onto the mobile previously and it'll play at a certain time, be made available at a certain time. So it's pretty versatile, and we see win for pretty much most of the players in the game. Telcos, as Mr. Sunil said, get better quality of service, etc., etc.
Good. So Raghu, you told about the feature phones. India is a very price sensitive market. So how can D2M be relevant to the feature phone market in India?
There is price sensitive, both in the terms of the equipment, so they buy feature phones instead of smartphones, and also in terms of the data plans. They have a fixed budget, and post that budget, they stop viewing internet, right, or video. So in this particular case, with a minimal addition, of course, of the receiver technology, with a very low, we can have sort of tailored, what should I say, content delivery for smaller screens of the feature phones. We need not use a 4K kind of bandwidth. So we can have much reduced usage of spectrum. And the D2M allows something called layered division multiplexing, which is part of the standard. So you can have in the same spectrum, you can have a 4K video and probably a low resolution spectrum. And of course, the 4K video will require better, reception at an antenna to get that signal, whereas the lower resolution signal can work with reduced input processing. So, a lot of advantages.
Yeah. Thank you, Raghu. Thank you. Friends, we have with us Mr. Kengshuk Bhattacharya by my side, who is the Senior Vice President and Head Post-Production and Facilities, Sony Pictures Network. He is passionate about broadcasting, live production for sports, VR, AR, MR, and high-end post-production and studio production for any and every kind of content that needs to be produced, monetized, and distributed. With a strong business and managerial acumen, with key abilities in leading dedicated and cross-functional and multi-location teams for large projects, Kengshuk enjoys building and leading high-performance teams. I would like to have his views in a minute on the direct-to-mobile broadcasting, which is the disruption today.
Thank you, Mr. Sunil. Hello, everybody. Just to begin, I think D2M is a very new trend in the broadcasting fraternity. It's something which is extremely exciting. It's an emerging new trend. India is a huge country geographically and population-wise, 1.2 billion people. The kind of infrastructure that you need, that already terrestrial broadcasting used to use, is completely by the state-owned broadcaster, which is Doordarshan. Satellite television never got to use that infrastructure. With internet coming in, as Rajat mentioned, it's not quite sufficient as we move along with the amount of people that we have in this country. India also has a huge demand for live consumption of content. I think we all are mad about cricket, and any kind of live content that is telecast, it creates a huge traffic on the mobile infrastructure. The telcos, face the latency issues, quality issues. Rajat just mentioned that, they had to down the quality. Now, D2M actually requires convergence of a lot of technologies, a lot of regulations, as well as a lot of convergence between telcos and broadcasters. However, this country, I think, is running this pilot project, which will not only help India going forward, but this kind of technology is going to be extremely useful for the people at large. I think from technology standpoint, it provides another way to deliver content for mass dissipation, from any sort of content which requires multiple people to watch it live. I think this is the perfect technology that can actually augment all the providers to dissipate content amongst a large number of people at the same time.
Thank you. Friends, a very interesting feature is that D2M is a homegrown technology and the IPRs rest within the country. So world economies support their homegrown technology. Why? I'll give you an example. The iPhone, which costs about $1,000, say, we have got a very big setup in Chennai. The plus point is that it employs almost 50,000 people. That is the plus point. It gives the largest employment in the country. But the flip side is that what is the value addition which it takes? You combine all the part manufacturers, all the labor, all the capital, all the investment which the country makes, they amount to total $300 at max. So where does the $700 go? It goes to the only person who has the IPRs. So that is how we need to support the homegrown technology, so that the country, instead of going on this, harps on the IPRs, which is the major source of the revenue. And once this happens, the standardization game will be played by the country. You will be setting up the standards. The spectrum allocation will be made by the country. You will be dictating on the spectrum allocations, and the IPRs are there with you. So the major portion of the revenue will also come to you. So this is one of the other positive points why we should support as a country to this homegrown technology which is going to make waves. So question to you, what types of content, live sports, news, entertainment are likely to benefit from this technology and
See, as
why?
I mentioned earlier, I think this is technology which allows mass consumption or mass dissipation of content, and live sports in our country is the best example. We are a cricket mad country. Any sport in India is consumed live. Any kind of national importance, any content that requires to be delivered live to a vast amount of people is the next kind of content that can actually go there. There are a lot. It opens up a lot of ways to deliver live content. I think consumption by many people at the same time. It does not choke up the telecom infrastructure. So anything that needs to go live is obviously the best option. But however, it has the capacity to deliver every kind of content. But I think it's going to be very useful for live. That is what I think this technology can actually push.
Thank you. Thank you. So friends, we have our next panelist from the Disney Star House, Mr. Paritosh Saha, from the Broadcast Technology and Operations Division. Paritosh is a veteran in the television broadcasting with about 3 decades of experience in the field. An electronic engineer by profession, he leads the engineering of one of the largest broadcasters in India. His technological and innovational inclination has earned him an award of excellence in broadcasting. He has led the team to achieve many first time in India projects such as 4K UHD in satellite homes, targeted advertising on linear channels, migration to end and IP based playout for more than 50 channels, first sports, remote production with J2K and so on. I would request Mr. Paritosh to share his views on this disruption.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. And good morning, everyone. So from a D2M perspective, we've heard a lot of things, and I'm sure, everyone sitting here, they have their own views as well as they have their own experience. So I'll try to draw this from their experience of what they currently have. Currently they use, I'm sure you have watched television at home. It's a nice experience, You never see anything stuttering, nothing is buffering, everything is nice and fine. On the other hand, when you're driving or you're moving, you want to watch the same content on your mobile phones. Of course, you know that you have to do a little bit of compromise here and there because sometimes, at the right moment, the wrong things happen. So let's assume that, there's the best example is that, let's assume there's an India-Australia match. We are rivals. So, and there is Suryakant Yadav batting, last ball, 6 runs to score, and there is Tuck doing running from the far end. He comes to near the stumps, delivers the ball, and you're in a cab, and suddenly you get into this bad network. We are so used to it. Okay, so you have Suryakant Yadav with his bat lifted, the bowler with this ball, and everything is staring at you. Okay, so that's the worst thing to be. And then your friends call you, "Arey, dekha, what a shot!" So you have missed that moment. So this is what the D2M is trying to promise to you, that you get the best of both the worlds: the linear world, where you're sitting and you're enjoying your match without disturbance, and on the other side, get all the experiences of an OTT world. So apart from that, there are other things which add up. There are various advantages for various different set of people here. Like if you see for the OTT guys, it's a big challenge. Everyone knows that you have to plan for the CDN bandwidth every time. Any surges, we have seen best of the OTT fall down, okay, including ours at once. Okay, so they've learned, and this means that you have to sometimes plan an over capacity. Now, when you have a D2M kind of a technology, you can actually offload this. So the entire broadcast can happen, and just like any other television set on your mobile. So it happens without really stressing out the bandwidth, or you don't really have to plan for the salience. So this is one big advantage that OTT would OTT provider would get from a broadcaster's perspective. I think apart from whatever has been said just now, there's another important thing that a linear broadcaster misses is the direct contact with the consumer. Now here, you would exactly come to know who's the consumer, what is his pattern, and so your targeting will be more accurate, as well as, we have been missing this return path data. So this is going to be a rich data for every broadcaster. So that's a big advantage for the broadcaster here also. So, and of course, telecom networks, they can give better services, not only for the OTT, but also for other. So if there's a match, suddenly the surge happens, and we have set of people who are browsing, they are, doing something, at least they would not be deprived. Today, there is a little bit of that problem happening where the regular browsers don't get sufficient bandwidth and they are deprived of whatever they are doing. So these are certain things which would really add value in this entire chain, and I think it's a great technology because it brings both the worlds together, television as well as the OTT world, and that too on your mobile phone. And not only restricted to mobile phone, it can be extended to television. There are, I think Tankya has, or what's the new name? Sorry, Tejas. Yeah. The Tejas. They have come up with also some access point devices which connect the home devices. So you can, whether you're at home, whether you're traveling, you can get access to the D2M services at any point of time. Another thing that I want to also add as a broadcaster is that it gives you the flexibility of providing pay channels. The DTT, which is actually D2M comes from the original DTT base, did not have this natural ability to sort of distribute pay channels. Now this, with ATSC3 being adopted, it gives you this capability to also deliver pay channels. So it's encrypted. So that's a big value add which comes. So I think that's what I would like to summarize.
Okay.
And
so Partosh, you spoke about the return path data.
Yeah.
What type of revenue streams do you anticipate will accrue to the broadcaster by use of this RPD?
So the first and foremost is that today we do everything, all of that we, RTRPs and everything, these are all not exact data. They are based on certain sampling. So with this, and this advantage also came in OTT. Okay, we are able to exactly know who's watching and for what duration and what he's watching. Now connect this with targeted advertisement, because it can be demography, it can be region, it can be any of those variables that you want to use. Okay, so you can now monetize even the targeted advertisement, and it can be impression based. The most important thing is that you can change advertisements. Let's assume that somebody is watching a car race. Okay, so you know exactly who are the guys who are watching that, and then you can release that particular advertisement. Okay, probably a particular brand of car that you want to sell, and that's the advantage that you get, and that's quite instantaneous. It will be quite fast than what we are using today, the mechanisms that we use today.
Yes, thank you. We have been talking about the television, that D2M will be a game changer and disruptor of the technology in television broadcasting. I'd like to ask Mr. C.K. Jain, do you think that D2M platform can also be used for digital radio?
Very good question. In fact, the answer to his question is yes. I would supplement what Mr. Raghu Ravindran said. D2M has works on a special technology called layer division multiplexing. Now what it does is, it allows you to simultaneously broadcast streams of different modulation techniques or different power. So it allows you to not only broadcast TV signal which can be watched on mobile, but also which can be watched on fixed TV and also radio. So now what it does, it really revolutionizes everything. Now what is happening today, TV broadcasters are setting up their own infrastructure, radio broadcasters are setting up their own infrastructure. Both the places, different transmitters are being used. Such a big investment for everybody. Now think of both broadcasts happening from a single platform, that is D2M transmitter, which carries TV broadcast as well as radio broadcast. And now what is happening today, if you really see FM mostly, sometime before it was being heard only or listened only on mobile, this thing. Later on it moved to car infotainment system. Today mostly FM is listened on car infotainment system. Now with the radio being broadcast along with D2M, again its reach or its audience would increase multifold. Number one, reach is increasing. The investment of the radio broadcasters getting decreased. They don't have to invest into capital infrastructure. They only have to give the output of their studio to the D2M service provider. And it's reaching almost all the places wherever D2M infrastructure would be. So see the kind of advantage that D2M platform would provide to the entire ecosystem. Tremendous. Have I
Thank you,
answered
thank
the
you. I
question
think very well
correctly?
answered.
Thank you, sir.
Rajat, I will put the next question to you. Indian Mobile Congress is happening in Delhi, and just yesterday, Honorable Prime Minister, he spoke on the allocation of the spectrum, how the spectrum should be allocated to different services from the satellite and from the terrestrial both. So what innovations are emerging in spectrum management to accommodate the needs of the D2M broadcasting?
Seems to be out of curriculum question, but I'll attempt that. So, see, spectrum is one of it's a resource which is tough, which is costly, and lot of our industry innovations or industry sort of initiatives are based on that. Now, if we talk about D2M, and I'll go back to my earlier point about conflicting and complementing technologies. If D2M is a parallel platform as against the 5G, then it is putting pressure on the spectrum. It should be a complementing one. That's wherein the spectrum efficiency is maximized. We all are aware about the 5G spectrum allocation issues, and that is the proposal to have it in the C-band, etc., which is also having an impact on the future of the satellite broadcasting. Now, all these things, since again, like it goes back to that the market is very big. Market is very big in terms of numbers of consumers, not number of revenue point of view. It is more from consumers' point of view. That is wherein all of these will coexist. In a scenario of coexistence, all need to be complementing each other. There is enough stake, enough pie for everyone. They need to be complementing each other to coexist. And that is wherein all need to work together to get to that innovative solutions part of it. With respect to the satellite, or with respect to satellite spectrum, that's a different band, and that is whole lot of confusion, controversy about that, about the logged spectrum and the open spectrum. Those we would not touch, but it certainly overlaps with FM radio, for example. And what CK Jain mentioned about the layer multiplexing technology, that is quite rich in D2M, and that is wherein which could become a serviceability rather than getting into the media broadcast of it. What I would feel the innovation should touch the utility aspects of IoT, the automation of the homes and other things, rather than going again and again back to the television content and the radio content.
Thank you. Very well answered, Rajat. Raghu, can you educate us and the audience on the basic differences between the D2M and the traditional broadcast?
So primarily this particular standard is IP based. So effectively that means, it is different from the traditional protocols which can send only linear TV, the linear AV streams. Now since this is IP based, you can send everything as a file. And then at the receiving end, you have an application which sorts it out, reformats it, does anything, like a standard internet receiving app. So this sort of allows you to do, like Mr. Rajat said, IoT, firmware upgrades over the air, all of this. And this particular standard is one big difference compared to the telecom standard is that this is tried and tested for broadcast. It's been used in the US, it's been used in South Korea, and right now it is the protocol used or selected after 2 years of evaluation in Brazil. So this is a tried and tested broadcast protocol. And the broadcast needs things like time and frequency interleaving, all of that, which help you in fast fading environments. Because in broadcast, if you miss a packet, you miss a packet. You don't have the ability like broadband to go back and forth, which is what is congesting the networks, right? So a lot of advantages on the technology front, and one big thing which we talked briefly about the spectrum and coexisting. Now, between a transmitter and a receiver, the idea should be to use the most efficient way possible. And the energy per bit used in broadcast is much, much less than used in broadband. So it's a much more sustainable for the environment. And also we are going forward and thinking about how you can broadcast viral content, or almost like a CDN on the edge. A lot of, once you know the user's behavior, you can do what CDNs are doing. They have very good algorithms which predict what each user is likely to use. You put it right on the phone. That much more you save.
Thank you, Raghu. Thank you. So, friends, I just now explained, rather touched upon, that D2M is a homegrown technology, and India can be an exporter of this technology with this innovation. My question to Mr. Kingshuk will be, how important is the cross industry collaboration between broadcasters, network providers, and device manufacturers for scaling D2M broadcasting globally?
D2M is also a part of evolved multimedia broadcast multicast service. So this is something which is absolutely new. So it's very, very important that broadcasters, telecom networks who have the infrastructure to dissipate, device manufacturers and regulators work effectively to create a very, very fertile scenario for the technology to evolve. It is something which is extremely homegrown, and I think what Mr. Sunil is also saying, this is something which has the capability to grow from India. So I think people who at the end will be at the forefront of this technology today need to collaborate. It's a convergence of multiple factors, and all of these put together will probably bring a new horizon to a new technology which originates from this great country.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to brief the audience on a use case of the direct-to-mobile broadcasting, which is the universalization of the education. 2 years back, Honorable Finance Minister, she announced the set of 300 educational TV channels. Mr. Satish Agrawal is here, who has been the implementer of that. Within a year, the entire structure of the 300 channel TV broadcasting on DTH has been set up. With the content, the Honorable Prime Minister had a vision that we have to reach the unreached, the farthest nook and corner of the country with this. So, the content creation was done by taking a meeting, cabinet secretary chaired a meeting of all the secretaries, how to devise the content. The content which will go on these 300 channels will be curriculum from class 1 to class 12, the undergraduate courses, the PG courses, the competitive courses, engineering competitions, medical competitions, and who will design this content? It will be the heads of the departments from the IITs, from the AIMS and all. So that is the type of the vision the government has. Now, the last mile connectivity, how will it reach people? See, for a person sitting in a very remote corner of the country who doesn't have access to the bandwidth or the spectrum, DTH is one source where he can just put a small dish, plug into his TV and get all these education channels. The government did not want people to spend even that. So what the government has mandated, that onwards every TV set which will be manufactured in India or which will come in India, it will have a inbuilt satellite tuner, so that nobody has to put a set-top box. Just put a small dish of 200-300 rupees, plug into your TV, and all the education channels, 300 education channels are at your doorsteps. The same type of scenario will be coming in the direct-to-mobile broadcasting. Why I have mentioned this use case? Because D2M also deploys a similar type of reach to the last mile, apart from the Make India initiative, apart from the homegrown technology, apart from promoting the IPR. So that's one thing. And with this, friends, I'd like to sum up this session, leaving to the audience if they have got any questions from the esteemed panelists. Thank you. Yes, please. Can you pass on the mic to the gentleman here? I'd like you to have an introduction first.
Thank you, sir. It's on.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, sir. This is Asmo Konatket, food technologist from Mumbai. Sir, when we are talking about D2M, sometimes we talk about sports and everything, but the most important part of the D2M should be the election rallies or the Mann Ki Baat, which is being broadcast by Prime Minister. It is broadcast in Hindi, Mann Ki Baat, for example. But 20 to 30% people in India who are in the villages, they are not understanding the Hindi in the southern part of India. So if there are some arrangements should be made, said we can set this in any language. Whenever if I want to receive any broadcast from D2M, I should have a chance to select a language. That should be more important. Does D2M has got that chance of putting a different, if broadcast in Hindi, I want to listen in Tamil, so it should be possible.
See, very nice question. Already the Mann Ki Baat is being transmitted in so many languages. Now the D2M comes with a very high potential. Each transmitted, deployed for this broadcasting will have some at least 30 channels, of which some can be put to the public use, the rest can be auctioned to the private people. Putting 3 transmitters will give you some 90 channels from each location, and all those different regional languages carrying the Mann Ki Baat can be very well beamed on the D2M to the public. So very nice question and very well implementable.
Especially in the election rallies.
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Can we pass on to the gentleman that side?
Hello, my name is Ramesh Meer. I'm part of Nimbag Mise also. My question is, you people said that now you can use the same transmitter for transmitting to TV as well as radio, right? Do you mean that the same program which is being transmitted on television can be heard on the radio?
Mr. Jain, I'd like you to take this question.
No. Not that. Okay. Whatever is being broadcast by radio broadcaster will be heard on the
Radio.
radio. Or radio means same mobile.
Okay.
Mobile, you will have to select channels, whether you are selecting a TV channel or a radio channel.
Yeah.
So if you are selecting a TV channel, you will watch the selected TV channel. If you are selecting a radio channel, you will listen to the radio channel.
But you cannot see the, you can't hear the audio of the TV channel.
No, you can't see the TV of TV signal of on radio channel or vice versa.
Because that's good, because that clarifies because as a content maker, you know, we get a lot of complications if that was possible.
No,
okay.
no. It's entirely.
Let me sorry. Actually, your question. Am I audible? Hello. Am I audible? Yeah. So your question from tech point of view is yes. To answer to your question, yes, we can have the same audio pushed onto the other channel of which can be received through radio. So technology solution is there. Whether it makes a business sense, that is something is a question.
Very nice. So,
sorry?
No. Technically, he is saying the audio TV channel can be pushed onto this or vice versa. But it does not make sense, both in terms of user experience or user need, as well as the business sense. It doesn't make any business sense.
So little clarification over here. Just want to add to your comment on.
Can you just introduce yourself?
Sorry, I'm Sudeep Malhotra from the Satellite Media Group, also part of the organizing group over here for the event.
Yes.
I also head Deutsche Welle television for parts of South Asia. To answer his question on the language issue, I don't know how many people know about this. The government of India has kept it a very well kept secret that almost a year ago they launched an app called Bhashini. And what Bhashini does is like a Google Translate. You can do it in text, you can do it in real time. So if you are talking to me in Hindi and I want to listen to you in Tamil because I don't understand Hindi, all I have to do is open the app, do a translator, ask it to translate from Hindi to Tamil, and I can listen to him talking. He's speaking in Hindi, I'm listening to it in Tamil in real time. And it does about 14 different languages, including some foreign languages like Spanish and Italian, and Chinese and Japanese and so on. It's, like I said, it's a great app. It is out there in the open, available for anyone to download and use. But like a lot of things that the government does in the media sector, it's a well-kept secret.
Can we get to Mr. Mukesh Sharma? Can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Mukesh Sharma. I used to be the Director General here, Additional DG of Mumbai Doordarshan. I retired about 5 years ago. I just have one or two questions. First of all, as he said, the moment. So I thought the byline could be the direct to moment rather than direct to mobile. So we could go direct to the moment. And do we need a dongle for this, sir? And can this be used on iPhone also without a dongle or with a dongle?
Mr. Raghu will take this question.
So it depends on the equipment, end equipment ecosystem, right, on phones. So as of now, we have dongles that connect to the USB port and receive this content. We also built a phone. We commissioned a phone which has this inbuilt. So just to show the feasibility. So that's been done. In fact, our next thing is to expand this phone build. And also we are planning to put this on a feature phone. So just to show feasibility. So once it's technically very possible, iOS or Android wouldn't matter because it's just an app which will run on either. So no issues technically. We need to get the market and the...
So as the market scales up, this will be eventually implemented in all the phones.
I just want to add something. That's the opportunity for the device manufacturers.
Yes.
So look at it positively.
Because if I'm using an iPhone and I have, people who are using, not me, iPhone, they have a typical thing, it's very difficult to go back to.
Yes, yes.
So carrying one more device with it will be a problem unless an app is there which can take.
Not required.
Again, Mr. Mukesh, it is all propelled by the demand.
Yeah.
And as Mr. Parthosh said, it's an opportunity for the device manufacturers. It is well in the Android phones. It will definitely be
because
featured in the iPhones as well.
most of the, I'm also in academics now and I've seen the students, most of them are consuming the content only on the handheld device. So whatever it is, if that becomes, then it makes a little sense. Thank you.
So I'll take this opportunity again just to announce here, just before that. See, Honorable Prime Minister has got a vision to take the first World Audio Visual Entertainment Summit in the country. And this is now happening for the first time in Delhi in Bharat Mandapam from February 5 to 9. February 5 to 9, the first Waves World Audio Visual Entertainment Summit is going to happen, and Broadcast Engineering Society is partnering with the government, with the Ministry of I&B to conduct this on the broadcasting pillar. From 5 to 9, I would urge people to participate, and because every country of the world is on with such a show, Indian Mobile Congress has got a very high footfall. On a similar pattern, the government has thought to give a footfall to the broadcasting industry, to the content industry, to the sports industry, and to the news and all. In this context, I'd like to take one opportunity requesting all these panelists here to release an information brochure for the Government of India, Ministry of I&B, and Prasar Bharati, BES Expo collaboration to come into this show for the first time. So may I request all those present on the stage here to release this brochure for the government.
We have two more questions from the audience here. 1 second.
This is the last question we can take because I'm getting reminders that we are running out of the time.
So,
please.
Raj Patel, I'm from London. I work on ATSC 3 standards in the US with broadcasters, targeted advertising, all of the new stuff that we know in Europe and in the US. And I see D2M being a new initiative here in India. So I got two questions. The first one feels like 5G broadcast is out and ATSC 3 is in from the POC concepts you're doing at the moment. And when do you think it actually can happen for the government to say that is the standard? Because it's one thing with POC, there's another thing saying actually that is being ratified by the Indian government.
Will you like to answer this?
Okay, so see, fundamentally we should see ATSC 3 is actually a broadcasting standard, and 5G when we talk is a cellular one. So these are two different
5G broadcast.
Sorry, 5G broadcast using cellular technology. So it's so these are not, and that's wherein I've been maintaining throughout this thing, it need to complement each other. The moment we talk about conflict, that's wherein this won't work. See, fundamentally, we all should also realize the media industry is going through a huge stress. The business models, the revenues are drying up. The demand of the content is going up. The cost is going up. But the business models are not looking very, very encouraging, be it linear television broadcast or the OTTs. So anything which could help to optimize the costs is something which should be looked into.
We'll just take 1 minute to update you. See, in India, we have got 28 crores of TV households, 28 crores of households, of which 19 crores are TV households, and the rest are TV dark. Now you see, 80 million phones are there. If all those phones also start getting this data, imagine the amount of the content propulsion which will take place. So that is one thing that the market will explode like anything once this 5G broadcast or this D2M comes. And since both are IP based, I repeat, since both are IP based, so convergence is very well possible, and the mobile phones are capable of taking both, either it is 5G broadcast or the D2M. Thank you.
So one last question before we wind up this session. My name is Manoj Malmar. I'm the editor for Broadcast and Film and Satellite and Cable TV magazine. I see a spectrum of speakers here ranging from the private broadcasters to the government and the academic, the IIT collaboration. So do we see a cross-border collaboration happening to push the DTM broadcasting in the future between Reliance, IIT and Government of India, Prasar Bharati, taking the initiative for that, some kind of a collaboration like that?
I'll answer this question. Prasar Bharati is already moving and had the proof of concept and trials in 2 cities and already scaling up these trials to the rest of the cities. It's technology agnostic. Whatever is the best for the country, whatever the citizens feel to have it, that should come to the people. That is the approach of the public broadcaster, not promoting any particular technology. Because it is an opportunity for the country, as I have alluded earlier, because it is a time for us to build our own product and export globally and increase our Make in India production and all, the government, the manufacturers all over the country, be it 5G broadcast, be it ETC 3.0, be it Tejas networks, they all are jointly working together to promote this technology because it has to be a game changer. So there is a convergence, there is a collaboration in the industry to promote this technology.
How does Reliance look at it, sir? If we can get some final comments from...
No, so it's I cannot give an official statement on this. I'm not entitled for that, not authorized. However, generic, as a professional, I would say, as an industry professional, these are all the technologies which should be in the interest of the industry and the sectors should be explored. That's it. Thank you.
So thank you, dear panelists, for a very nice session today, very informative.
One particular point.
One panelist, Mr. Raghu, has got a last question. I'll give him 30 seconds to put his question and answer it also. Yeah, please.
One particular point I'd like to mention. India is proud of the UPI stack which we've built. It's pretty fantastic, right? Digital payments. And our hope is that D2M stack will be something on that scale. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. With this, we conclude this session, and thank you all the panelists and all the audience for being here and for sharing the thoughts.
Thank you so much to our speakers on our panel for this lovely, interesting and very interactive panel. May I call upon Siva Kumar, please, our group director, to hand over little mementos to our panelists. I just want to add that the certificates we are giving them are tree planting certificates to indicate that a tree has been planted in your name at the Trees for Tigers Sundarban in West Bengal. Yeah.
Thank you, Yvonne. I see Mr. Bernard Steinroke here, who is our mentor as well as Board of Director in Nürnberg Messe India. Sir, it will be a pleasure to have you on the stage and honor all the delegates here. Please.
Well, that certainly was not expected, and you certainly don't know me, so from that angle, I won't take a lot of time, but thank you very much for this very interesting discussion. And when we were sitting there, I was wondering whether that new sort of elephant in the room, which is Elon Musk and his new satellite technology that is said to put the mobile phone technology in a total different spectrum, because all the towers will not be needed anymore, that's the rumor, whether then D2M will take over all these towers, which will bail out the tower industry. I don't know, that's what I was asking. So that's just a total layman's question. Maybe that could be the last question that you can answer.
See, for this, all the towers of the television, all the towers of the radio, which are going to be a part of the converged infrastructure network, and all those cellular towers even, they will be used for this mobile broadcasting. So it's not that anything is going to be redundant in it. All the infrastructure which has been established on date, be it for the telcos, be it for the broadcasters, they all will be used for this direct to mobile broadcasting. So that's the flip side of it.
Mr. Steinroke, once again invite you on the stage to present them with the mementos.
I now invite our CMD, Sonia Prashar. Mr. Steinrucker, stay on stage for a picture with the panelists.